everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today for our Little Italy of Los Angeles podcast. We're so thrilled to have you all joining us. And joining us today is Geny Nevoso. I'm so excited to be having you here with us today, Genny. You are the Executive Director of the Italy America Chamber of Commerce West. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, Deborah. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, and Genny, tell me, what is that? Because it's a mouthful, but it's a big and very important job, particularly for businesses in Italy getting introduced to us here in the United States. Tell us about the job and what you do.
Yes, the Italy America Chamber of Commerce West is one of 85 chambers located in 55 countries all over the world. Our particular chamber has been in Los Angeles since 1987, so it's been a while. And I've been the executive director since summer 2016. We primarily foster economic and business opportunities between Italy and, in our case, the Western United States through a number of activities and services, events, and so forth.
But tell me what it is that you do. Let's be specific, right? There's a business in Italy, and they want to get introduced to businesses here and people here. How do you go about doing that? Because it's a tough nut to crack, for those businesses. But I know when they go to you, that makes all the difference, right? Could you give us some examples?
Absolutely. Any business, usually it's somebody with an idea, an entrepreneur wanting to come into the U.S. and develop a project. Sometimes it's an actual business that's been attempting coming into the U.S. unsuccessfully, or businesses trying to expand in the U.S. They come to us, we analyze their current situation, what they've been doing, what they have not been doing, and we try to match them with potential importers, distributors, retailers, buyers, and then we develop a strategy and a plan for them. Most of the activities we do in-house, especially the matching, the coaching. We do a lot of mentoring online now for them. We spend a lot of time talking strategy and do's and don'ts with these companies. There's a lot of education to be done. I won't hide that. A lot of businesses believe that they just come to a U.S. trade show and it's all done. It's actually just the inception. It's a long road ahead. It's a very competitive and mature market, particularly the California one. And we try to really walk hand in hand with them.
Let's say I have a cheese company and it's doing fairly well over in Italy, but I want to introduce it here in America. How would you guide me? What would you do? And how would you teach people here what's authentic and what isn't? Because I know that's a big part of your business too.
Yes, we've been doing that through the True Italian Taste campaign. And basically, we take your product. We try to understand whether you are compliant with all the regulations, FDA particularly. We get you export ready if you're not. And then we go to the businesses. We go to the importers. We educate them as to what this product is really about, if they have anything that can possibly compare. Oftentimes, we actually go to the supermarkets and educate their sales force or their buyers as to why this product is authentic, how it's made, why it's extraordinary compared to the copycat. Especially with cheese, we have a huge problem all over the world with what we call the non-authentic Italian products, the Italian sounding products. And then we try to, work with the media, raise awareness, and also host events that are designed for foodies to learn taste.
Go ahead. You said there's certain authenticity. Oh my gosh, I can't say that word.
Authenticity, yes.
That's one of those words that's hard for me to say. That logos that you put on products, right? So that people know if it's in fact authentic or it looks authentic, but it's not. Could you teach that to me as well?
Yes. So with cheese, for example, the king of cheese, Parmigiano. So Parmigiano, first of all, it's 80% of the time when it's called Parmesan, it's not Parmigiano, unless you go to the very back of your piece of cheese and you see that it says product of Italy. First of all, it cannot be product of any other part of the world. And then you have two little Star. They look like stars and they're yellow. It's like a little crown. And that
Ah,
identifies the product being authentically made in a specific territory. When it comes to Parmigiano, for example, is Modena, Reggio Emilia. That's the only place in the world where Parmigiano can be produced based on
ah.
specific rules.
So many of us who do not know that, right? We'll go to a market, even a fine market, and thinking, oh, good, we're getting the right stuff, the real stuff. But unless you know specifically, very often we may not be doing that. So just ordinary folks like myself, we can take a course with you too, right? To find out what's authentic and what isn't, correct?
You can join a lot of our events. We host master classes. Now they're digital. We can share a lot of activities that we've done in the past. And hopefully soon we'll be hosting a lot of events for the community where people can share and learn and really partake in the process.
Right. You don't just have to be somebody who's trying to get your business known here in the US. I mean, if you're interested, any of us can join, right? It's not very expensive to become a member, whether you're an individual or you're a particular business, correct?
Absolutely. Anybody can join the chamber.
Mm-hmm.
It is open to individuals as well as corporate businesses. We have different tiers. It starts at $250 a year. So you understand it's fairly affordable, all the way to 500 and up for businesses. And that's a yearly fee.
It's a pretty terrific job that you have. It looks to me like you really broke that glass ceiling holding a job like this, Genny. What's your background that you got this particular job, and where are you from, and how did you end up doing this?
I was born and raised in Italy, in a small town on the Adriatic coast, on the east coast of Italy. And I landed in Los Angeles 17 years ago. I followed my heart. I came here for love rather than business or success. And I've actually found myself looking for opportunities. I've I've actually started as an intern, a volunteer more than an intern, at the chamber 17 years ago as I was waiting for my paperwork to live and work here legally. And then I moved on. I went to the Trade Commission for about a year. And then I've consulted. I'm a trained linguist, so languages were my thing my entire life. And after that, in 2016, I was brought back to the chamber. So full circle.
Because that's a lot of work that you do, matching businesses and where they belong. You must have quite, if you will, the Rolodex of businesses that you deal with on a day-to-day basis. How does it work? I mean, you also, not just food, of course, but that's got to be a big one. You also, I'm sure, are involved with clothing and pottery, right? And what about like luxury goods and handbags? Do you deal with that as well, or that's something else?
We have hosted a whole set of events called Apart a couple of years ago, and actually kicked off Apart with a pop-up store. And we had smaller brands, unknown brands from Italy, doing fine leather accessories all the way to fine clothing, tailored products, beautiful shoes, all sorts of things. Fashion is it's something natural that comes to all of us in Italy, but also design and architecture, machinery. It could be anything. People come to us with all sorts of products, all sorts of services that they want to promote and find a match for.
What's the percentage of people and businesses that come to you that make it into these markets here?
It's a small percentage, to be
Really?
fair. It's a very difficult market, and I would say that the number one issue is that they touch and go. They try with one event, one opportunity, they invest maybe 1 year, and then they just quit. Now, I always tell our clients and our members that you need to be super persistent. You have to be surgical in your approach. You have to know your business very well, but you need to know your target market even more. And companies cannot be persistent sometimes because of the budgets. It becomes very difficult. They are aggressive maybe for a period of time. They can access funding through the EU, and then they just drop it and they focus on something else. And that is the biggest issue.
What's one of the number one businesses that you are successful with introducing here to the U.S.?
Well, there's a number of them, to be honest with you. I will not name names, otherwise I might get some members upset. But there's several enterprises that I'm really proud of having worked with, in particularly redesigning starting from the concept they've had in mind and redesigning what they actually created in the US. So really helping them adjust to the reality of the market. And they've developed e-commerce stores. We have done a lot of promotional activities together. So really from inception, from the idea all the way to activations, marketing activations.
And I'm sure also you probably help them get online too, right? Because we interviewed a while back a fairly young couple, and they have a successful olive oil business, and all of it is by order only, and it's all online, and that's been very successful because no longer do you always have to have a presence in a store and a shelf. You can do it online. Do you help them with that as well?
Absolutely, and this is brand new. We're actually launching an online platform that truly belongs to all the Italian chambers in the US. This is a common effort of the chambers. We're launching a platform that will give companies that join us in this effort a shop window, a platform, something that would be unaffordable for most businesses to do on their own. And so they can host meetings with their clients. They can join our digital events. They can have a marketplace. So that's something that we're launching in hopefully the next few weeks. Yes.
What are you always looking for? You know, as people are coming to you, what always gets your eye? Would you say, Genny?
I look for how well they've done their homework. I want to see how they've studied the market, how well they know their market, their target client, how well they know the digital opportunities, as you mentioned, and not just e-commerce, but also for promotional opportunities. So the social media route, as well as all the work you have to do with influencers these days. I really try to do where they stand with all of this, and I try to see how serious they are, because this market is no joke.
Well, you're right. You have to do your research, whether it's what you and I are doing, right? You do our research on one another, regardless of what it is that you do. You need to have done your research, because they might have an idea, but you have to take it 10 steps further, right? Is there a cost to them other than becoming a member?
Yeah, we as an independent local nonprofit, we basically sustain ourselves through membership and selling services. We're more like a service agency, basically. And so there is a cost, and it's based on their specific service, whatever they need. It's quite affordable, usually, compared to the big agencies and the big consulting agencies offering the services. And the beautiful thing about leveraging the chamber to access the market is that you then become part of a community of like-minded professionals and companies, and that gives you a lot of referrals. It gives you a lot of help with, through people that have tried before you, that have successfully entered the market. And it avoids you a lot of a big waste of time and then finances. We really try to be mindful of that.
What about women? Are you trying to help promote women-owned and operated businesses from Italy and merging it with people here? Is that something that is of interest?
Absolutely. It is. It's a big conversation. It's something that should not, personally, I believe it shouldn't even be a conversation. We're capable as creative as entrepreneurial. But I always keep an eye on very creative, energetic, courageous women trying to cross the pond, come into the market. I always have a special eye for them.
What about going the other way, from American businesses trying to break into Italian? Do you do that as well, or you handle more on this side?
It's not primarily our job, but we can support by offering sometimes the contact information and services of some of our members that are in Italy and offer services over there. So the community is in Italy and here. It's all over, and it can really help.
Yeah, and I do think the Italian community here, the Italian American community, really wants to help encourage businesses there to continue to come here. I mean, I really see a real surge in that. What's the trend right now? Who's trying to get in here? What types of businesses do you think are popular, not just to come here, but that we as Americans really would like to consume?
Well, I mean, food, it just never ends with food. We are always involved in, in that conversation, because I believe that we need more authentic food and wine products in the US, although we do have a lot of them, but they're not everywhere. And I'd like to see more of that, and just the price is more accessible. But also fashion, I'd like to see more of that as well. Because when you think of Italian brands, you think of the top tier ones, you think of luxury.
Of course.
There is an entire world of craftsmen, artisan, smaller companies that produce accessories and clothing in Italy that are virtually unknown. Oftentimes they produce for the top brands.
Right. That's not necessarily the couture names that you would know, but it's still the same beautiful Italian fashion. In fact, if those companies, brands are able to break in, where could we find something like that? That may not be a $2,000 blouse, but that is in fact a more reasonable Italian styled clothing or shoe.
It's unfortunately, there's not a lot of that because the ones that make it's the top tier brands. This is primarily for the marketing dollars, for the structure they have behind their back, really holding them up in entering the market. Now, there's a lot of e-commerce stores that you could access, to get, some of these brands that are smaller, lesser known, maybe in the US, but well known in Europe, and also the lesser known in Italy as well. Italist.com is one of them, although their primary focus is really a luxury experience, but you can also find companies that virtually you've never heard of that are top tier in terms of manufacturing in Italy.
What's the next virtual event you're going to have? Because one of the great big ones that you have, and we can't do it this year, is the Italian Excellence Award. It's a beautiful gala that we do every year, right? Yes. We can't really do that this year, but is there anything that we can all look forward to learning more about what you're doing here?
Absolutely. I am truly sad about the gala this year. We have built a beautiful gala for the past 3 years. It's been increasingly more successful, and I'm truly saddened that it's not going to happen this year. We've tried to create something safe, but just gathering people at this time is just not, simply put. We are hosting a lot of webinars. They're free to anyone who wants to be a part of the community. Our website lists them all. We've been e-blasting them. We have social media that we can share. The next one is on how to purchase real estate for expats. So for foreign people coming into the market or living here, how to purchase real estate in Los Angeles. And this is happening on October 28th. And we're featuring a couple of members of the chamber helping us with financial strategy as well as real estate opportunities.
Wow. What about for those of us who want to purchase there? Do you help us with that, or is it something else?
We can do that. We do have members in Italy, lawyers and real estate professionals that can accommodate some of these needs. Yes.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, so how can anyone get in touch with you, Genny? And is there anything else there you'd like to add that I may not have asked you that you think would be important for our viewers and listeners to hear about?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. The Chamber's honored this partnership, especially, with the Little Italy Association of Los Angeles, and wanting to praise the organization for what they're doing for the local Italian community to revive this sense of, Italian community in Los Angeles that's been marginalized for years, I would say. And also you guys can be in touch at www.iaccw.net is our website. It features a lot of interesting videos of past events and webinars, as well as a calendar of upcoming events. You can check this out. And also it shows you our social media channels.
Beautiful. And also on Instagram. I'm a big one for Instagram because it's so easy to access anyone on Instagram. You post all of your latest events. It's so easy. And I know that you answer to everyone. So that's great too, Genny. I really appreciate you being here. And I hope we'll have you back, especially once COVID is lifted. That'd be terrific. Geny Nevoso, Italy, America, Chamber of Commerce West. I very much appreciate you coming on today for our Little Italy of Los Angeles podcast. And everyone, you can find us, of course, on Facebook. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Apple and iHeart and just about anywhere that you watch your podcasts or that you listen to them. So we appreciate you very, very much being here. There's a lot to learn. And I love how you're encouraging businesses to come here. This is a great thing. So thank you again. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you.